Of all the hundreds of colorful supporting characters on The Simpsons, there's no one quite as memorable or bizarre as Krusty the Clown. He's a complicated man with an elaborate story, so here it is, boys and girls, the backstory of Krusty the Clown. The 1991 Simpsons episode Like Father, Like Clown provides a lot of information about Krusty's early years and explains why he acts the way he does. In short, he has some major daddy issues. After Bart, Krusty's biggest fan, helps clear him from a robbery charge, he comes to the Simpsons' house for dinner. When he delivers the blessing in Hebrew, some of the family seems confused. Well, at least Homer does.
Oh, he's talking funny talk.
Lisa, ever observant, understands that Krusty is Jewish, and when she asks him questions about it, he breaks down in a fit of crying. The rest of the episode is a riff on The Jazz Singer, both the 1927 and 1980 films, which tells the story of a man who wants to be an entertainer and not a cantor in his synagogue. But in the Simpsons version, Krusty has a falling out with his father because he rejects his desire for him to study the Torah at yeshiva in favor of being a clown. We also learn that Krusty is just a stage name for the man born Herschel Krustofsky in Springfield's Lower East Side. Krusty's father was Rabbi Hyman Krustofsky, who felt that his son should live a serious life and that clowns were not respected members of society. Before giving up on a quiet life as a Jewish scholar, Krusty attended yeshiva as a child. While he tried to make his father happy, he couldn't suppress his natural urges to clown around.
What are you doing in that bathroom?
Go away!
Open the door this instant!
Close the door!
One night, while Krusty performed at a convention of rabbis, everything came crashing down. Young Herschel, with his identity concealed by makeup, did his act to the delight of the crowd, which included his father. Everything was fine until another rabbi took Krusty's seltzer bottle and sprayed the young performer, instantly revealing his true identity to Rabbi Krustofsky. Embarrassed and angry that Krusty was clowning against his wishes, he disowned his son right then and there. Forced to leave home, Krusty began his career as a street mime in Tupelo, Mississippi. Eventually, he got his own show and built a personal empire. However, he always missed his dad. After not speaking for 25 long years, Krusty and his estranged father finally put aside their differences and reunited for good.
Oh, I love you, son.
I love you too, Daddy.
Over the course of his career, Krusty the Clown has made a lot of money, and he also seems to make a lot of bad decisions. Regrettably for Krusty, the combination of those two things has resulted in some serious vices, which have taken a toll on his finances and his health. Krusty possesses an almost pathological need to accrue and waste money. He lights cigarettes with $100 bills and extremely valuable comic books. He continually blows cash on bad investments, and he's a fan of expensive omelets made with endangered condor eggs. On top of all that, Krusty is clearly a gambling addict who bets unwisely on events with virtually assured outcomes, such as Harlem Globetrotters games or operas. At one point, Krusty has to open a clown college to pay off his gambling debts to the mob. It seemed like a great solution at the time, but it came with some unexpected downsides.
Burn that seat!
Then there's the topic of Krusty's many addiction issues. To deal with the stress of his high-profile career, he turned into a chain-smoking alcoholic who was hooked on the painkiller Percodan. He also once confessed to Bart that freebasing moon rocks was the only thing left that still gave him a kick. Basically, if there's an illicit substance around, Krusty will find a way to sniff it out. Perhaps as a function of his self-destructive habits, his age, or some combination of the two, Krusty the Clown suffers from a host of medical problems. He's mentioned that he has diabetes and is concerned about experiencing massive organ failure. Plus, in a flashback to an old clip from Krusty's show, he has a heart attack on stage while his young fans cheer with delight. Even after being outfitted with a pacemaker, Krusty still experienced a few more cardiac events through the years. When Homer is preparing for his own heart procedure, Krusty visits and shows off his surgical scar. He also lets Homer know about an unexpected side effect of his condition.
Well, I got news for you. This ain't makeup!
In the world of The Simpsons, Krusty might not be as popular as he once was, but his brand is still viable enough that he can license his name and image to appear on countless pieces of merchandise. And the centerpiece of Krusty's licensing empire is Krusty Burger. It's a house of horrors unto itself, selling health-endangering treats like the whatchamacarcus sandwich, gravy scrapums, and bacon balls.
I use non-diseased meat from diseased animals. Everyone does it!
In 1984, Krusty Burger was selected to offer the official meat-flavored sandwich of the Summer Olympics. In a related promotion, Krusty authorized a contest in which customers scored free food whenever America won an event, but it was rigged to feature games dominated by the Soviet Union. After the USSR boycotted the games, the Americans dominated, leading Krusty personally to suffer major financial losses to the tune of $44 million. In the Simpsons episode Insane Clown Poppy, Krusty signs copies of his book at a fair and is approached by a young girl named Sophie. She closely resembles a certain clown, and well, you can probably guess what happens next. Flashbacks explain how Krusty ended up as a father and the reasons why Sophie's mother, Erin, kept him out of their daughter's life. During the early 90s Gulf War, Krusty was performing on a USO tour and met Erin, who was an American soldier. The morning after their brief encounter, she left in a hurry to fulfill her military orders: assassinate Saddam Hussein. Since Krusty's USO material consisted mainly of jokes about the Iraqi leader, he tackled her as she fired her rocket launcher so he could save his act. Erin immediately strangled Krusty to the point of unconsciousness and never told him that he had a child. When confronted with the truth, Krusty tries to talk his way out of the situation and admits to Sophie that he's not exactly father material.
I curse, I gamble, I pick fights with homeless people, What's wrong with your eyes? You need a Claritin or something?
Fortunately, after spending some quality time with Sophie, Krusty takes responsibility and forges a loving relationship with his newfound daughter. It just goes to show that after a lifetime of endless entertaining, hard living, and major regrets, Krusty still has a few surprises up his sleeve, and we can't wait to see what he does next.
See you some other time!
Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Looper videos about The Simpsons are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.